Thanks, Dan, and thanks for Neil for joining us today to talk money, I guess.
Yeah, I'm ready to be back. Let's get into this. This is great.
Good. Well, when people reach retirement age, they find some challenges that they didn't experience before when they were younger. So, what are some of those challenges?
Well, there's a lot, but anyway, we'll touch on a few more important ones. The first one is people sometimes overlook kind of their long-term care insurance planning, or what they're going to do if they get eventually into a home of some sort, and they have to spend quite a bit of money on their care for either them or their spouse. It can range $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and if your other spouse is still at home running your original home, and then another spouse is in one of these long-term cares, this can be a real big risk to your financial plan. So what we do here is we really try to run a couple different stress tests around your plan, just to see if what happens if you had to run kind of two households for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, just to make sure you got enough money. So that's really important in the planning process right now, is that long-term care insurance, or that long-term care coverage on your cash flow.
What's another retirement challenge that you've experienced recently?
Well, another big one is that we hear everybody wants to help these days, and sometimes helping your kids is another big stressor on your financial plan. If you get into a spot where everybody wants to help the next generation, but again, at what cost and what detriment? So again, you've got to run the planning numbers and the statistical analysis around how much can you give to the next generation, how soon can you give it, and making sure that you kind of don't put yourself in a disadvantaged situation around retirement.
What's another retirement challenge that you've experienced recently?
Well, the big one is kind of sometimes what people take it most granted for is when it comes to their actual retirement income streams. They just think it kind of magically happens. Well, there is a lot of coordination that takes place between the financial planner itself and the accountant, and understanding all of your future income needs, and making sure that you're taking from the right pot in terms of where you right now have your money situated in tax-free, registered, non-registered accounts, company accounts, inheritance down the road. The actual planning of the income stream of retirement is very, very critical, and is most times overlooked with people when it gets to retirement.
Thanks very much for the advice. That's a lot for people to think about. Back to you, Dan.